Well, I'm heading to the super famous fairy pools on Skye, or Glen Slirachen, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have to be honest, I was a bit in two minds of whether to come here or not. It's so touristy, and it's so well photographed that I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether I should bother, to be honest. But then it's such a dramatic landscape. There's a bit cloud at the moment, but I'm expecting the clouds to kind of pass across a little bit. So I thought, kind of in for a penny, in for a pound, as it were. Having said that, I came past yesterday, heading down the glen into Glen Brittle, and this path was just like a queue of people. There must have been thousands of people just queue. You could see as you go past on the road, kind of thousands of people kind of coming up and down this path. So I definitely wouldn't have stopped yesterday, because it's kind of not my thing. Oh, sorry, just crossing this little burn. And it reminds me a little bit of Glencoe. I've been through Glencoe a few times, but that kind of never actually stopped because it is so touristy. But I'm going to bite the bullet and see what I can come up with. It's relatively early in the morning, so I've come, I think it's still before 8 o'clock. So I've come early to beat the crowds, but also to hope that the clouds shift. Because I imagine in 3 or 4 hours, there'll be another trail of people coming up and down this path, and I want to be gone by then. How's that for a bit of drama? Hey! So, pretty spectacular. I've come quite a way up, so there's lots of, I hope you can hear me over the waterfall, by the way. There's lots of bigger falls as you come up the river. Quite dramatic, big pools underneath. But most of them don't seem to provide a view of the mountains, so you get the falls in, but you really want that drama in the background. Look at that peak there. And I think the clouds are going to shift, so come to these smaller falls. So they're not the biggest falls that I've seen, but they span the river and then they lead straight up to that peak. So they might not be the biggest, but they've probably got the most dramatic view. So I did take a couple of images further down, but kind of this is really where I wanted to get, and I've kind of scrabbled out across the rocks into the middle of the river, and I'm just waiting. The cloud is moving and shifting, and really kind of see up there, it's kind of spinning off the top of the peak. So hopefully in a minute or two, or 10, some of that cloud will move. So I'm just working on some images here at the moment. I'm going to drop a filter in just to take some of the brightness out of the clouds, and then work on the composition. But pretty special place, pretty spectacular. Only thing I would say is it's so over visited, for want of a better phrase. The footpath up is like the M25, and I've seen loads of discarded plastic bottles, swimming costumes discarded, because obviously people come and swim in the pool, so swimming costumes chucked on the side. So it's really disappointing that people behave like that when they come to a place with such beauty. But anyway, probably not the time to have a rant, but going to take some images. So I've moved my position a little bit, so I was previously over there, but I've come over to the kind of left hand side a little bit just to open that view a bit. You can see the cloud is lifting and I've got a bit of blue sky, so I just wanted to open up this view a little bit rather than that way. So I'll try and show you the composition I've got. So hopefully you can see this. I'm got this big peak, bit of light on top of it at the moment. In fact, I might quickly take an image of that because it's got a nice bit of light on it. And then I've got kind of the sweep of this kind of peak. One of the slight challenges is there's this big rock here, which actually provides a nice bit of balance to the falls on that side. So you've got the falls coming down on that side, and there's a nice bit of balance with this rock, but it's a bit bright. So when I go to process the images, I might need to do something about that. I don't mind it being there. I mind the fact it's a bit bright. It's lighter than kind of the fall rocks and the rocks over there. But we'll see how that goes when I process it. But I'm trying to get a kind of combination of the peaks and the water and the pool, and hopefully that's working well. I've got a filter in, ND9, just to take the brightness out of the sky, because you see there's some bright clouds up there. But it's just down to the horizon really. I'm on F11 and I'm focusing kind of just at the top of the falls. So hopefully all working well. There's a bit of sunshine around now, so I quite like the drama of the clouds, but it'd be nice to get a few spots of sun. So I'm going to stick here for a little while and see how the weather gods treat me. Just had the classic encounter, 2 people with dogs off the leads. So I've got 2 dogs, they'd be on the leads here. So they also, the classic question, how much further to the top? Well, to the top of what? So just anyway, I told them to put their dogs on the lead and they weren't very happy. So nice bit of hassle early in the morning. So I finished my bit of photographing there and crowds have started to arrive. So it's just after 9 o'clock. Just look ahead of me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 15, 20 people coming up the path in front of me, so time to go. But there's another spot that I'm kind of working my way to, which I'll kind of keep secret until I get there, keep the suspense going. But when the crowds arrive, it's time to go home, or go somewhere else as the case may be. So I've come a little bit away from Fairy Pools and to another fall. So not a million miles away. But there's the view. So I'm in quite a precarious spot. I'll show you, because I'm looking down into the pool. So I'm trying to get an image while the sun's gone in. Oops. Looking across here. Get this pool in. Get this fall in and get the peak in. But I'm kind of bow-legged looking across. I think you can get down there, but I don't think you'd be able to see the peak. So you can get down there, but you wouldn't be able to see the peak. So it's a nice fall, so I might try that. But at the moment, I'm just looking at this composition here. The sun's coming and going, so while the sun's not there at the minute, I'm going to get my exposure sorted. And I'm bracketing and taking the shot as quickly as I can. Because my legs are kind of bandy, but hope you appreciate the view. I've come above the main falls a little bit and I'm just shooting up here using this little fall here as the foreground. I'm got a kind of vertical orientation from the camera, just kind of using the lines to kind of work my way up to the peaks. So I'm going to stay and do that a little bit more, but after that, it'll be time to head home and then go and do some swimming in the sea later on. So, fairy falls, fairy pools even, what would I make of them? As I came back down from where I was taking photographs of the car park, I just, in my head, counted up the number of people I passed, and it was 217. So on my way up, I saw one other person. On my way back, the crowds are arriving. So I'll definitely go back, and it's worth a visit if you can get there early or out of season. But I've got to go past on my way back, and I imagine you'll just see a stream of people. So the tip would be go early, avoid the crowds. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you're enjoying this, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget thumbs up and a subscribe and any comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.